United we are stronger, and united we can make a greater difference. Some people feel like music is life. And if you really think that, you may like my songs. And I will be singing in this episode my Sacred Reality Song Album Part 2, and all of my songs are very special and original. I also want to let you all know that I am manufacturing these products by hand, and all of these products you can get absolutely for free on my educational song album. All you have to do is search Professor Cygnus Biology Song Album, and you get the entire collection. I work hard to make the very best content that I possibly can, so make sure to try to make this as viral as you possibly can, you all. So I will be singing first my very special original song, There Is a Time for Everything. And in life, you may be going through your process, and I want to let you all know that in your process, okay, you may want that result and you may see the result in your mind, but that process is different for everyone. So I just pray that no matter what you're going through, that you will understand that you should always have a destination, you should always have a goal, and in that destination, in that goal, right, both short term and long term, okay, you will understand that the process is different for everyone. Just stay strong through that and just understand that there is a time for everything. As there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There are times of confusion to where you need guidance, but if not receiving, that may bring sadness to where you feel closed out. And one day you will be ready to open up on God's hell of the mount, because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. And I appreciate the likes, and I appreciate all of the good people in life, brethren and sister. And these are my special original songs. And if you think that music is life, you can go ahead and give a like to this episode. You can also comment below. I appreciate all of the brethren and sister of life. Remember that life is a process for everyone, but also remember that there is a time for everything. Gotta start on the piano. Self-taught on this. There is a time of anger, of that built-up emotion, to where the opportunity doors just feels like they are closing. Let self-control be your light. Get to the source and let your light shine, because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time of loss and a time of grief, yet see your potential and respect your body, because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There's a time of what you may feel as fear, yet there is a time to train to be heaven's soldier. Learn the lessons to improve your emotions, Do not let those bad things hinder your development. Break out of that fear and show that you are strengthened. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. And I appreciate the comments, and I pray for every single one of you all to understand that there is a time for everything in life. No matter what you're going through in your process, just understand that one day your life is going to flash before you. And I pray that each and every single one of you all invest into the wisest decisions, no matter what you go through, because there is a time for everything in your life. Just make sure to be wise about every decision. There is a time of gratitude. And what inspired you to create you? To express how you are thankful for life's development that makes opportunities. And I appreciate the comments. Possible, and how development is just unstoppable. Through those difficult times, push through with a time of gratitude. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason. And there are times that our souls will have our seasons. And a lot of the times, and I appreciate the comments. A lot of the times people say, hide your process. When you're going through the time of everything in life, people say, when you hide your process, nobody can know. But the thing is, embrace your process of life. Do not be shy to embrace the process of what helps you to become who you are. A lot of the people told me the videos that I had years ago that I should put that private, or there was some very difficult times I had just to establish what I have now, and people said you should put that private because it was embarrassing. They said. I said, regardless if it was embarrassing in the process of my life, that helped me to create who I am. And if you want to know who I am, you're going to have to know those difficult things I went through. And the same goes for you. How can people know who you are unless they respect the process of how you got here? Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to tell you all right now, I respect the process. And if you're in the process right now, I can respect the process of what will help you to become who you are in the future. Because you are a masterpiece, whether if you know it now or not. You have purpose, whether if you know it now or not. You have potential, whether if you know it now or not. And that process of you learning your potential, learning your ultimate purpose in this world, that process may be difficult to understand, but embrace that process. Mm-hmm. Do not be shy. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason. And there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There's a time. Listening, seeing the comments here. Can you pause? Remember to be respectful as well. There is a time of trust on life's roadways, and sometimes we trust without even knowing. On the roadway of life, the heavens gives us different kinds of signs. By God's law, we expect people to abide. as we trust when we drive. That is a part of trust in the roadway of life. And just think, when you say that you do not trust anybody, I'll tell you ways that you do. Because united we are stronger, and we could not do it without the united ways. Would you have clothes on your back if it was not for your brothers and sisters of this world that did not even know who you was? Would you have shoes on your feet if it was not for the brothers and sisters of the world that made sure that your feet were not going to get completely punctured with blisters and corns and fungus, who knows what else? What we have to understand is some things are more than money can buy. These digits, these dollars, they do not define the true value of the things that we have in this world. You go to the store, you're really going to an invention convention because it took thousands of years for humanity to develop all of those things. And there's some things that are beyond what money would ever be. I'll tell you that your life story matters. Okay, your existence matters. You are appreciated, you are acknowledged, and even if you do not feel like that, sometimes there's dimensions above yours that you do not see, but yet observes you in your daily life. And just remember that even when you think you do not trust things in life, we all trust each other in different ways. And one of those ways is the roadway of life. When you stop at a stop sign and the light turns green and you're able to go, you expect those other people to stop at the stop sign like you did. And that's a part of trust. Even if it is difficult sometimes, we cannot live without trusting each other in some kind of way. As the sisters and brothers of the world, we must understand the importance of unity and supporting one another in the process of our life. And this is my way of supporting you all in the process of your life. There is a time of prayer with sympathy to our Lord and Savior in eternity. We sympathize and prayers for ourselves and others in life. We pray for the solution that we can become until balance to all is done. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. And if you're watching from a place other than the United States of America, as I'm reading in some of the comments, I am here in the United States, and I'm proud to be an American. I do not know what it's like in other countries, but I love how this platform is worldwide, and I'm thankful that you all have the opportunity to be able to get this message that's being delivered. But remember that it's always important to know where your mind is. In the process of your life, you should always seek to learn something. As you are learning, if you are willing. If you seek, then you will receive. But if you do not seek, it'll be hard to receive. So it is important, you have to always ask the questions in your mind. How can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? And this is about the process of your life, no matter what kind of process that you are going through. And it's always important to appreciate. I'm not used to being appreciated. You know, I've been very neglected in my life, and it's not a very happy thing to get negative comments, because, you know, I'm very isolated and alone from everything. A lot of the times trying to make this YouTube into my career. But I do this by myself. I created my songs by myself, and I worked very hard to build and establish this over time. So I'd appreciate positive comments. But as far as the understanding of supporting one another in this process that you're going through in life, as there is a time for everything, is you must understand there's a point in your life where you're going to look back and you're going to say, what remained in all of those times of everything that I had in life? What remained in my life? And I want to let you all know that my YouTube channel is going to live longer than I will. So anytime you want to look back at these episodes, it's going to be longer. This is going to be here longer than I will live. So I'm sure that these episodes will be here for you all after I am dead and gone. But hopefully I'll be appreciated before I'm dead and not after. But I just want to let you all know that you are appreciated in the process of your life. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time of happiness in the many layers. Appreciation, acknowledgement, accreditation, and love to God's favor. Always seek happiness in life's many layers. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time for all emotions, because there is a time for everything. We must be willing to change. Excellent calculations. I do appreciate the likes, and no matter what process that you're going through in life, I want to let you know that you're a miracle blessing, whether if you know it or not. You have purpose to be in this world. You may not understand your purpose entirely. You may be transitioning, trying to figure out what am I doing in this world, but you have a place of a purpose in this world, and sometimes that purpose you got to create aside from everything else. And sometimes that purpose you got to feel included and involved. And I want to let you all know, if you did not know that you could get your free products, this is a part of how I involve you all a lot. I give out these free handcrafted products on my YouTube channel. And this is the cat anatomy. I teach about biology. I have this is my Sacred Reality song album part 2. The Time of Everything is one of the songs. I'm going to be singing many of my songs in this episode. But I want to let you all know about the free products that you could literally get right now for free. And I want to make education popular for children and adults. I worked hard to design these puzzles. I teach about the biology of the cat, biology of the bird, biology of the squirrel, biology of the horse, biology of the spider, everything, you name it, it's there. And I work hard to design these puzzles and to make these songs. And if you all would like your free products, you can get that on my biology song album. You just search YouTube Professor Cygnus, or note that for later, biology song album. And I have the entire album with the entire collection, which is super incredible. And you all get to, you could actually make ornaments this year for people who celebrate Christmas or anything else. What you can do is, after laminating the product, you can poke a hole through it and put a string on there and use it as an ornament. And put these as ornaments on the tree. Educational ornaments. How about it? Very good. And that is my special song, There is a Time for Everything. I want to let you all know, in the time of everything, there's a difference between temporary decisions and sourceful decisions. Now, one thing that really changed my life was deciding into sourceful solutions rather than temporary solutions. And as I said, when you all are subscribed to my channel, that's going to be permanent for your life, because this video right here will live longer than I will. Okay, for all I know, this video can last over 100 years, longer than I will even live. Okay, and I'm letting you all know that you're invited to be a part of the fan family forever. Okay, and that could be, you could be subscribed to my channel forever, and we're fan family, family of God, family of the world. But as far as foundational decisions, there's a difference between the people in your life of foundation. You want to keep good people in your life, sisters and brothers of God and the world and of heavens. Um, and then you have the foundational decisions of things like housing. Would you rather rent something or would you rather own something? Well, a long time ago, I would rent and I would think, goodness, my money's just going to waste. It was temporary to rent. And that's when I found owner's financing where I can actually pay and own. And it's not a contract. It's not, well, it is a contract, but it's not like getting a loan from the bank or something. But you see, that was a sourceful solution. And so the time of everything in your life, when you have the time of everything, the time of the emotions, you have to get to the source of that problem. You have to say, you know what, I think it is because I need to invest into things that are more foundational. I need to invest into my life, things that will last my entire life. Because all of these things are passing me by and I want something foundational. And so a part of that is owning rather than renting, right? And if you all want more information on how I learned about that, then we can go through that. And then there's also foundational decisions of a mindset. When you have the mindset of wanting, right, a foundational thing in your life, as long as you have it in your mind that you will keep that for the rest of your life, that will be so. Like in the example, our mindset, the way that we shape our thoughts is the way that we make the reality. And in the example, if I say, I am going to keep this piano for the rest of my life, no matter what happens to this piano, I'm always going to keep it. I'm going to try to find ways to upgrade it. I'll decorate it. I'll put some stickers on there or something. And no matter what happens, if my mindset says I'm going to keep this for the rest of my life, that's what I'm going to say in my head. Okay. And no matter what happens to the piano, even if that breaks down, I will keep it. Because why? Because it's in my mind. Now, that's material items, okay? And for me, I feel like if something goes wrong with something, you can keep that and repair that for later. But there are certain circumstances you should not tolerate, but that all depends. But a part of Sourceful Solutions, I just pray that in the process of you all's life, if that is a source of your problem, that you'll seek to invest into foundational and sourceful solutions in your life. And I made a song on my Sacred Reality song album called Sourceful Thinking. And I do not have background music for this one, but I think you all would enjoy this. And this teaches about sourceful solutions as well. If you give canned food, that will run dry. If you give seeds to grow, that will last for life. If you give a pair of shoes, that could wear out. But if you teach them how to make it, they would never go without. If you give someone a glass of water, that would run out fast. But if you dig their well, that will truly last. If the world has inventions that they keep a secret on how they make it, the only ones happy would be the ones with access. But if you teach them how to make inventions, the people will always have it. If you tell someone to swim across the river for what they need, that could risk them from drowning. But if you teach them how to build a boat, there is no risk, and they would teach others what they know. If you bring a living life to the world without guidance, they would live lost. But if you guide them to a purpose of potential, that would be more than money would cost. If you give or take without the know-how lessons, that could break the coalignance of the chain reaction. If you teach a person engineering, that could go very far. They could build no matter where they are. Temporary and sourceful thinking has a lot of things in differencing. Can you understand the differences between them? Sourceful thinking needs to be. Can you think more sourceful with me? Purposefully aiming to the goal potentially. Always focus on the way that you think. There is great empowerment on what we can create. There could be even lives we could be saving to make this life more like heaven. And I pray that you all are staying healthy, and I appreciate the comments and the viewers now. If you all enjoyed my song, all of my songs are original. This is off of my Sacred Reality song album. You can find my song album on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, and so many more platforms. And I am live right now singing. But this song, I'll just tell you all, there was a point in my life where I was seriously struggled. I was completely committed to God. I even shaved off my hair to represent to God that I would sacrifice everything just to be loyal and honorable and worthy to God. There was a point during my commitment that I even lived homeless. And it was absolutely severely devastating, and even a point to where I was about to go off the edge. And keep in mind that was just after I was hit by a car with a permanent indentation and break in my skull. So through the severities that I went through, I think that opening my mind to perspective helped me to overcome those battles that I was going through. Mm-hmm. I now have my own property. I now have my own house, and I am establishing my nonprofit organization. And I have my YouTube business here, and I'm trying to grow to 1 million subscribers and make this into a profitable business as far as YouTube goes. And then I turn my profit into a nonprofit. My nonprofit organization is when I make these educational songs for children and adults, and I give out free products that go with my songs. So this is just an example. The bird anatomy song is on my YouTube channel. I give out the free products that go with that. I work very hard to design these products the best that I possibly can. This one has the front and the back. And this is the human anatomy that goes with my human anatomy song, made for children and for adults, so that is good for the entire family. And now I'm a lot more established than what I was many years ago. Mm-hmm. But I had some serious downfalls. And I stayed loyal, determined, and devoted to God during the entire struggle of the difficulty. Now, during my low point, my seriously low point mentally, one thing that helped me get through that is to gain perspective. See, the thing is, you can buy anything at the store. That's not going to do for you what it will, a perspective that can help to shape every way that you think. Mm-hmm. Gaining perspective for me was my life. That was everything. Mm-hmm. That helped me to become a better and stronger person. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to introduce you all to my song Life is Like. But one thing that helped me to become a stronger person as well is to be a good leader. Leadership helped to shape me into a better person. And we all, in ways, are our own leader, to where we shape our own destiny, our own goal, our own foundation of what we seek in life. The always surround yourself by good people and have that to help you shape the perspectives that create your mind to think as you do. Like in the example, I do not think in sin. I do not curse. I do not cuss my words of empowerment. Why? Because I know that there's people who literally have ended their life over words. And I shall never dishonor that. And I will seek to say what I can to help people that are in need. And that's how everybody should look at it. Like, and just remember that you are a miracle blessing. You have purpose and potential in this world. You're in the process, or perhaps we're all in the process. No matter what is going on in our life, it is a constant process. But think back years ago when it was more of a difficult process and then building up and establishing over time. But sourceful thinking is a perspective that helped me to understand life in the greatest ways. And just remember a part in my song of my new album, Sacred Reality Song Album. If you give someone a glass of water, that would run out fast. But if you dig their well, that will truly last. Temporary and sourceful thinking has a lot of things in differencing. Can you understand the differences between them? Sourceful thinking needs to be. Can you think more sourceful with me? And so we spoke about also, um, when I learned about owner's financing, I was renting and I was paying rent, and it just seemed like all of the money I was paying was just going to nothing. Because by the end of the day, I never owned it. Mhm. But then when I looked into owner's financing, I could pay to own without having to get a mortgage, without having to wait for approval for some for some big loan from a bank. And I was getting constant denials. But owner's financing never failed me. They do not need credit checks. They do not need any of that nonsense. They do not need bank approvals or anything. Those are real estate companies that say, hey, you pay month by month, you can own it in this amount of time. And it was something that really shaped a part of my establishment. But that's only a part of my establishment. That's only physical. That's more of like material things of where I would live, but not the way that I think, right? Because the way that I think is something that shapes what I do, what I say, and what I think. Sourceful thinking is one thing that created me to be a better person. And I'll tell you, when I originally first learned this perspective was when I was in a house rental back in 2020. This was just after I was hit by a car, literally just a few months after. And I did not have parents. I went through children's home, academies. I was on the missing flyers for almost 2 years, found across the entire nation. I was on the news, WBR, Channel 10 News, all kinds of crazy stuff happened. And I went through severe traumatization. Not having parents was big pain for me because, I'd see everybody else having parents, and it was, but then also, I was hit by a car a few months after being abandoned, thrown out. I was denied by the military recruiter. Then I tried to get my GED, was abandoned, thrown out, hit by a car, and then I had this house rental a little bit after. And during the time of being in a house rental, there was mold infestation. So I had to scrub mold off of the ceilings, off of the walls, everywhere, and it kept getting worse. And I learned the hard way of how to get to the source of a problem. Because, see, I would get vinegar, which naturally kills mold, but it would not get rid of it. I would wipe it off of the surface, and it would come right back, even worse than it did before. And I was like, why does this keep coming back? I was just getting the surface, and the mold would come back worse. You know why? Because the source of the problem was the leak in the roof. And it took me about 7 to 8 months to figure out the source of the problem. And I suffered learning that perspective. But once I figured out the source of the problem, that surface was no longer an issue. But it had already built up so much that it was difficult to actually get rid of the problem.
And that is why you need to get to the source of the problem ahead of time, not way after your life, because so many people will tell you to procrastinate your life. So many people will tell you, oh, you're young, you got all these years. They cannot determine your time. They cannot determine how many years you got in this world. Okay? It's important to get things done ahead of time. Do not procrastinate it. Get to the source of your problem ahead of time before it builds up and it'll be too difficult to remove. And you know what? That house rental that I used to be in, they said it was so bad that they needed to just knock it down. They needed to literally take the house down because it was so bad. Mm-hmm. Even though the source of the problem was resolved after many, many months, but the walls were already rotted by the time of figuring that out. And let us compare that to our life. We keep building this cup of stress over and over again. But that stress started many years ago when we were little, right? If we do not get to that source of the problem, it's going to keep building up. And just like that house, you never want to wait too late. You got to figure it out ahead of time. So I'm going to introduce you all to my next song, Life is Like. And this is my Sacred Reality Song Album Part 2. And if you all would ever go to the concerts, let me know. And I'm thinking about it. It's going to be definitely a lot to manage to do a concert. But I want to make sure there's going to be enough people. And this is my special original song, Life is Like. And remember, perspective shapes the way that you think, which can shape everything that you say, think, and do. Okay, and at the most difficult times in my life where my mentality was not the same as it is now, I am so much more established. But learning these perspectives took all of my life, up to the point to when I was 20, until I was about 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old. It took up to those points in my life for me to learn these perspectives. And if only I could have learned that when I was little, then I would not have been so lost. And I hated to be lost. And I never want you all to feel lost either, because you have a purpose in this world. And you may not know your purpose, but it'll form over time. Embrace the process. And this is my special original song, Life is Like. Life is like a clock, and we are like the gears. That is what turns us to be here. And the battery is like the source that flows through us all. Things that are big and things that are small. Life is like a puzzle, and you are my masterpiece. Without you, the image is just not complete. Life is like a canvas, and we are the painters. We learn to be detailed masters. Life is like the many colors, all seen through perspective. Life is like a mystery when I see you in my reflection. Life is like an hourglass. I actually have an hourglass in here. Life is like an hourglass. Grains may fall and time may pass. Every grain of sand is represented. Every detail of effort given. Life is like the fabric of space-time, interwoven to the mind. Amazing how things co-align. Life is like a plant to the cells. You know they could not do that by themselves. Life is like the elements. Every detail is needed with almighty purpose. Life is like you and I, on how all things co-align.
See, these perspectives took me all of my life up to the age of 20, 21, 22, 23. I think what is one of the most changed perspectives that I had. And if you all have any questions about my songs, I would greatly appreciate any questions. I get questions in the spiritual realm as well. So different from these comments. It'd be nice if I'd get like physical comments like that. But the question in the spiritual realm was, what was the greatest perspective? The song "Life Is Life," and all of these perspectives into which is expressed. Which one changed your life the most? And I would say living as a non-sinner, never having the desire of sin. That was one of um, the greatest points um, that changed my life forever. And to not allow sin. We are the sisters and brothers of the world. Why have hatred? There's no point having hatred, and because we could help each other. And why have the sins of anything? It's completely pointless to have sins when we could embrace the evolution of humanity and seek to evolve even further than what we've gone. And another perspective that really changed my viewpoint a lot is life is like a clock. I learned about clockmaking, and I learned about how there are small gears and big gears, and had thought, well, that is a lot like us in life. We are like the small gears, the smallest speck in a gear. And then there's big gears that are made with small gears. Like we are a molecular structure of billions of cells. And by the way, if you all would like free products, I make educational songs for children and for adults, and I give out free products of anatomy. That goes for the human anatomy, that goes for the cat anatomy, that goes for the spider anatomy, and all of these anatomy puzzles are on my educational song album. Just search YouTube Professor Cygnus, spelled Cygnus, and I just got a comment saying, "Your voice is good. Can you collaborate with this other person?" I've never heard of who that is. Um, I can try to search that name later on. Let me screen photo this. Okay, I just took a screen photo to save that comment for later on. You asked me to do a collab with someone. I make my songs original. I've never heard of Taylor Swift collabing with anybody, but anyway, I guess why would I need to collaborate with someone else? Anyway, um, I guess my spiritual files are just not well enough. It'd be nice if the spiritual realm would stop neglecting true value in life. But as far as the puzzles goes, I specially designed these anatomy puzzles, and if you all would like. But I got one appreciative comment during this entire thing so far, and the rest it was some things that was unacceptable for a person in time. Someone said, "I love your singing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that." And then some comments that were not so well. Someone says, "I love you." Oh, that's so nice. We're family. It's the family love. So that's nice. I pray for everyone. So I will, this is a live broadcast, by the way. I do like to read those comments, and good comments are definitely motivational for me. I have not ever gotten paid from YouTube after many, many, many years and hundreds of videos that I've worked very hard on. I've heard about all these other YouTubers that are getting paid, and they have less contributions than I do, number one. And all of my content is original, unlike a lot of other channels that take other things, which is illegal technically because there is copyright law. Making this YouTube career into a career that can pay the bills and make sure that I can
and bless others as well is definitely something that is very difficult to do. Um, but after these years, you would think that I would have given up. Um, but I have not given up as of yet. So, and I do appreciate the good things in life. So with the song "Life Is Like," on my Sacred Reality song album, I have my educational songs, and then I have my reality songs. This episode will be my Sacred Reality song album part two, as of the previous live broadcast was my educational song album. So I have the next song that I will be singing and also playing the piano too. I had to teach myself how to do um, piano, so I pray you all enjoy the background music as well. But in life, through the process of your life, as there is a time for everything, and you shape the perspective that your mind sees from in order to shape your words, your thoughts, your actions. In the process of your life, you possibly think, well, who would appreciate me in my process rather than my result? And I'll say, just embrace your process, embrace it. And just understand that in the future, if you're devoted to improve and get better, you will. I'm reading this. This person had just commented and said, no one is staying because you do not interact. Well, what am I doing right now then? I literally have checked these comments. No, the reason why they're not staying is because the spiritual realm is more than likely interfering. Okay, because the fact of the matter is, I've seen videos that did not do nothing compared to what I've done, get a lot more than me, and it was because they had spiritual superiors that were supporting them. So do not make up any excuses and do not be unappreciative or ungrateful. I think the problem in today's time is people being ungrateful. They tend to neglect valuable things and then give to things that are not valuable. So, but the reality is, um, it's important to respect, and which is good. But understand in life that your process will shape you to be the pearl that you will become. But you are like a pearl in the ocean. You're not yet formed entirely. But one day, that pearl is going to be nice and polished, shining so beautiful. And sisters and brothers of the world, one day we will see the most beautiful pearls in these oceans of life. In the depths of the sea. In the depths of the sea, many creatures lay beneath. No creature dares to go. Then suddenly you see a pearl. It captures your eye, but you do not know why or how. A beautiful pearl could turn out to be found in the depths of the sea. Then the pearl light gleams, yet the creatures lay beneath. Are you brave enough to go where no one dares to go? Then the pearl light gleams with such strong energies. Do you dare to get the pearl? Then suddenly
You have the pearl in your hands and ask how can something so beautiful be created in the trenches. The formation over time and change, then you swim away until the next day you see the pearl face to face and think that the most beautiful things can be formed from the most treacherous of places to where no one seems to want to go or experience. Yet like that pearl, we all form in our own ways. And sometimes the most beautiful things come from those difficulties, like the pearl in the sea. Do you dare to form specially? There we go. And to understand that you, in the process of your life, your pearl is not done yet. People have not seen the best of you. You know, time is running out faster than you all think. But to understand the formation of who you will become is to understand that those difficult times are like the depths of the sea. But that pearl light gleams, and that pearl light is your potential. You know, I'm more than psychic. And I want to tell you all something. All these spiritual things, there's nothing you could tell me that I do not already know. I know what is against me, and I know what is for me. And I know that there's something that really needs to overpower those things that are lurking in those shadows. But I want to let you all know that you all have not seen the best of me. But I know my pearl. I'll tell you. I know my pearl better than anybody else. But I want to tell you all that in life, whatsoever that you are going through, I imagine a person that did very good in life and then just went with the wrong crowd or had surrounded themselves by people that were a bit chaotic. And sometimes there is bad inspirations, and maybe it was when you was little, or perhaps you started to grow a bit. But I want to tell you that surrounding yourself by good people should always be a good priority for you. And that's not only physically, it's spiritually also. Do not allow people in your mind that do not want best for you. It's both physical and spiritual. When you have temptations going through the physical world, that's external from you.
But when you have temptations coming into the spiritual fields, that's when it's a completely different story, correct? But I want to tell you all that life is like a rafting river, and you must not get carried away. And this is my special original song, Rafting River. Do not get caught up in the rafting river of life. Many creatures you cannot see with your sight that may deceive you in your mind. The raft will have you carried away. Have order, management, and structure, and take the time to meditate. The rafting river is filled with arrogance and sin. Chaotic things after, yet at first is deceiving. Making sin seem like it is something cool. The rafting river will turn you into a fool and carry you away. Stop, be consistent, and with the heavens you need to stay. Be careful of who you surround yourself with in your mind. Do not be carried away in the chaotic river of life. Part the waters and find peace. Be like that calm stream and be wise with everything that you decide in these waters of life. And just understand that in life is like a rafting river. There's a lot of things that are filled within this river. Let not ye mind strive away from thy destined purpose in this world. You may not understand your purpose, but you do have a purpose. And that can form over time to create who you are. That can be a difficult process, but you will get there. And to answer the question of the comment here, how many songs do I have memorized? These are my songs. These songs would not exist without me. I created these songs. And this is from my Sacred Reality Song Album Part 2. And I posted that quite some time ago, and I have that on iHeartRadio. I have that on Spotify, and so you all can find me on all kinds of different platforms if you search my name. But the next song that I'm going to be singing is a lot more upbeat, so prepare for this. Now, to understand, to surround yourself by good people, there's times to where you feel like you're down and you need to rise up regardless, even though it is hard. You have to fight it. It's not only a physical thing. Some people say the only struggles are physical. Oh no. Mm-mm. There are some spiritual struggles that you may go through in your life. Some people say that there's no such thing as mental struggles, and some people even laugh at it. I've seen videos of people laughing at mental struggles, but that's not anything to ever laugh about because that is something real. There's somebody right now, somewhere around the world, that's going through it. And I'll tell you that this song is for you all. And this is my special original song, We Rise Up. And by the way, if you go onto my channel, you can see all of my songs and my educational songs as well. I make free anatomy puzzles. I design these. I work hard to. I want this to go to the children. This can create children and adults to grow up to be biologists. And this can help them to learn veterinarian things as well, or even go into the medical field to learn about biology. And so if you all understand the importance of creating biologists for the future, you can go on my biology song album and get your free products. And that can be the ornaments. You can put these as ornaments on the tree as well for Christmas. I'm not sure if people are watching from another country that does not celebrate Christmas, but
I will say Christmas here in the United States is a big holiday. Now, I do not look at all of the religions as something that the holidays are caused by. I think, like my song, "There is a time for everything." I think that's what holidays are for, is to give people unity to have times of everything. Very good. And I'm reading the comment that you do have Christmas there in the United Kingdom. Wow, that is incredible. And rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth III. Is she the second or the third? Well, she was just absolutely incredible. And now they have King Charles. Um, and what an honor it was to see the United States president over there with King Charles at that huge table, uniting together regardless of differences. You know, British grounds is part of how this country is this country, hmm because they gave a part of their land. But yes, the United Kingdom is very similar to the United States of America. I'm sure Christmas is not the only similarity, but maybe one day I'll be able to travel. Do not know when that will be. Perhaps my grains of sand will run out before I'll get the chance. But regardless of such, I know that there's going to be times of these battles spiritually of things against success. But I'll tell you that there's going to be a time of a revolution, and there's going to be a rising up of these good things in this world. And this is a part of my song. And I'm sure I'd like the UK. I've actually seen a lot about the United Kingdom, and I think that is a really cool place. But I'll be singing my song, "We Rise Up." We rise up faithfully. We rise up to what we believe. We rise up with a purpose of balancing. We rise up potentially to accomplish the dream. By the way, this is the new dog rescue right here. We rise up for the truth. We rise up, my miracles, because I believe in you. And we stand up from the ground, and our answers will be found when we rise up, because we are in it. Rise up for what we believe. Rise up because we have purpose potentially. And one decision is all that it takes to make life a better place. Rise up like the sun in the horizon. Sometimes in life you ask what you wake up for. You know what you have, yet you seem to want more. In difficult times, things can knock you down. What motivates you to rise up from being bound? You think of the inspiration of the sights and sounds, yet when you think of potential, the answer is found. Things that are popular can be misguiding at times, or irrelevant things that just preoccupy your mind. Yet is it the answer to the big questions that you find? What is the source of your problem? What are you avoiding to show? Why is your spirit down or your energy seeming low? Time to get to the answer to the questions that you really need to find. Time to rise up from those battles in your mind. As we rise up faithfully. And reading this comment here. If I won the lottery. I sing them bedtime stories every night, and they get tucked in. They had a dog fight just the other day, but they're doing a lot better now. They live in one house, one home, one world. Come here, Ezekiel. Come here. See, when they had a dog fight, Ezekiel, come here. When they had a dog fight, his eye got damaged. Come here, Ezekiel. Up. Come here. Up. Stand up. Up. Nope, right here. Ezekiel. But yeah, they got in a fight, and there was blood coming from his eye. He's doing better now. They get along very well. But but when dogs fight, it's not going to be permanent. You know, they're going to end up realizing that they live in one world together, and they will get along. They'll feel stupid about it and never do it again. And that's it's a part of life. And yes, they are very smart, very intelligent. And I sing them bedtime stories every night, tuck them in, and I teach them wonderful lessons. So they can hear, they know. And if you all seen in the previous episodes, Ezekiel knows how to talk. Like, he can move his jaw with sounds coming out of his mouth. Um, and I shown that in the previous episodes, and I was like, why is this video not going viral? Like, whoever hears about a talking dog? But anyway, back to my song "We Rise Up." I have tried thousands. See, this YouTube career, I've tried to create into a career. So I've utilized thousands of strategies. I've made original things that did not exist before me. I've created a new strategy that this platform never has had ever before. And a part of that, I'm doing online manufacturing where I am giving out these free products you could literally print off no matter where you are on the planet, whether if you're on this side of the world or the other side of the world. Um, but as you can see here, I have the I have the educational songs. This is a human anatomy, and I have the song that goes with this, where I teach about the biology, and you can get your free products. You can make this into an ornament, and all you have to do is screen photo. So what I did is on the song, it's my biology song album. You just search my YouTube channel name, Professor Cygnus, and then biology song album. And on the album, during the video, I put the screen photo of the product that I specially designed onto there. So you just screen photo it and then print it out, and that's it. And I have, I've specially designed the human anatomy, the squirrel anatomy, the cat anatomy, the bird anatomy. I do have the dog anatomy as well. All of the entire collection, you all. And that's on the biology song album. And I work very hard to create that, and I'm trying to make education on the top 10 billboards. Now, the previous live broadcast video that I had done, I did my educational song album. But for this episode specifically, I'm going to be doing my Sacred Reality song album part 2. And shockingly, I had more views on my Sacred Reality songs than I did the educational songs. Is that strange, or? Well, at least I think. I have to go back on the analytics. But I do check analytics. I check view count. And every day I'm looking forward to seeing more views. And I do not. It's just, after all of these years, there may be a point where I give up on doing this. Especially not seeing the viral progression that I need in order to get paid. I've never gotten paid after all of these years. And I'm on below average income SSI. And that barely has me surviving off the grid. It is scary sometimes, but I'm thankful for what I have. But as far as making YouTube into my career, I can get sponsorship, and I have done professional title images on the videos. I've even looked at structural metadata, and they had the structural metadata in music, so I changed it to education, then I changed it to film and animation. I've literally tried thousands of strategies, legit. But I did do a video on religion class where I taught about different religions and the origin of the religions, and I taught about like Mesopotamians was from 5000 BCE. Then the first Judaism text was 1300 BCE. So there was there was more than 1000 to 2000 to 3000 to 4000 year differences between the Mesopotamians and the Judaism text. But not only that, the Sumerians took after the Mesopotamians, and I work very hard to make content, and the truth is, I went through a lot of severe things. I did not have parents. I went through children's home academies. I was on the missing flyers found across the entire nation. You know,
I was abandoned, thrown out. I tried to join the military. I was denied over the phone. I was very bullied for being different. Um, and I was very severely abused, and people did not care about what I went through. People did not care about like what I created for the world, which did not exist before me. And I'm just praying to be appreciated one day. Um, and I see all those other people appreciated, and it's great for them. But it'd be nice to be appreciated. Um, but I'm not giving up yet. Um, but I think in the near future, if I do not see progression, then I'm going to try to transition elsewhere. But we'll see. Um, see about this. With the rise up, continuing the song. As we rise up faithfully. But there has to be a time to where we rise up. Those battles that we're going through, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. May we have cleansing and renewing in the mind, the spirit, the body, to rise up from those bad things. Not only ourselves, only we can never live this life alone. Okay, even when we think we're alone, we're not alone. Okay, we can never win the battles alone. We need each other. Okay, and that's a part of my song, We Rise Up. As we rise up faithfully, we rise up to what we believe. We rise up with the purpose of balancing. We rise up potentially to accomplish the dream. We rise up for the truth. We rise up, my miracles, because I believe in you. And we stand up from the ground, and our answers will be found when we rise up, because we are enough. Rise up in what we believe. Rise up because we have purpose potentially, and one decision is all that it takes to make life a better place. Rise up like the sun in the horizon. Praying to the heavens that they will open up the opportunity door in those moments that you ask what you wake up for. You wake up for a chance. You wake up to fulfill a purpose, and you know we did not go through all of those things for nothing. We must have purpose. We must have order to ourselves and management to life, and then perhaps the heavens will open up our eyes and help us get through those battles in our mind, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe as we rise up faithfully. We rise up for what we believe. We rise up with the purpose of balancing. And reading that comment there. Yes, indeed. God bless the world. Not just this country too, but the rest of the world needs blessings. Where was it? So I try not to respond mid-song. And one decision is all that it takes to make life a better place. Rise up like the sun in the horizon. Let us see you rise up in this great, glorious time of our life. May this be a day of cleansing, renewal, and awakening. I'll tell you something. This comment that says, God bless the U.S., I'm going to tell you. See, the United States is about right here. Okay, look up at the ceiling. What do you see? The universe. Yeah. So here is a part of the United States of America. This is part of Africa. Or that's where Mexico and Brazil and other places are. So, and then on the other side of the planet, that's where one of the viewers is right now. But I'll tell you, can you believe that we're on the opposing side of the planet? But yet you are seeing how I am doing here. I'll tell you something. God the Almighty sees this as a speck in the universe. I'll tell you. with the God of the creation of the beginning. Okay, like this, another thing I have on the ceiling. Okay, you see this? This is like the world we live in. But see, to God, we are, you see this grain of sand in here? Like this. Do you notice one grain of sand? No, because you're seeing so many. Well, that's how it is. A lot of people do not want to really understand that in the they want to think God focuses, but see, the angels do the work for God because God is a busy God. But what you have to realize is that if you say God bless the U.S., what about the rest of the world? Right? This comment, you're saying God bless the USA. We got to bless the entire planet. This is a speck in the universe. And we have to catch this speck in the universe up in order to understand the rest of creation. Because there are many layers of dimensions. And there is thousands and thousands of dimensions that exist. See, we are in the third dimension. So that means that we have the length, the width, and the height. So think about this as a 2D flat plane. See, this flatness is 2D. I'm going to draw a character here. Okay, so here we have a 2D person. And goodness forgive my... oh, goodness. Well, I did not want to show this bad of art, but I was not even trying, really. Wait, just a moment. I get to really try on this art. So usually when I do art, I do circles. But I'm going to show you something about the third dimension. Okay, because God is beyond the 12th dimension. But the format foundation of the omniverse is of God, because that was from the original dimension. I'm going to show you all about 2D. Okay, 2D is after 1D. 1D is the dimension of the mind, the dimension of networks and thoughts. So if you say God bless America, right, then that is the near speck in the universe. What we have to understand is that is just what is seen, not even the understanding of what is unseen, correct? So then thus there is more to what we can see. So then thus going to draw this here so you all can see what is being done here. Okay. Excellent, that is better. So here we have a person. Here we have a 2D person. So this is the 2D, second dimension. Okay, if for this 2D, to understand that this is a square, well, it's a sloppy square, but the only way that this 2D person could understand that this here is a square is if we, in the third dimension, tell the second dimensional creature that that is a square. You understand? But see, to understand this creature here is in the second dimension. That means this is a 2D flat plane. And when everything is flat, you see it like this, just one line. So that means that this 2D person in the viewpoint of this square would only see this as a line, and that is it. So the only way that this creature can know that this is a square is if a third dimensional creature would tell this creature, hey, there's a square in front of you. Now you see, in life, we are like this second dimensional creature to the fourth dimension. Because the fourth dimension will see things, right? And then that is when, but not only that, there are dimensions above the fourth dimension, because remember, the fourth dimension sees into the perspective of unseen things that the third dimension does not see, such as this 2D person. But when you understand God, see, God can see much more than what a 3D person can see of the 2D creature. God is the time of all time, the time of all direction, the king of all networks. God is the creator of the space-time fabric from the beginning of existence. Now, people combined God with other things, which I do not agree to entirely. I can respect other things that they call superior or boss or king of kings, but no creature could ever do what the creator of the beginning had done. And I will not combine God into other things because it is not what I believe in. But as far as others goes, I do respect other religions that believe to combine God with other things, because they like to acknowledge sacrifice more than creation. But I do respect Emmanuel, Yeshua, as a person, but not as the same person. But I think that when it comes to the viewpoint of praying for God to bless America, I think that if I was to pray to God, I would say more than a limited request. Because God is the creator of the beginning of existence. So, of course, the prayer to God is to balance all of existence and the quintillions of things that exist in all of the layers of the dimensions, which there are thousands of dimensions. And we are literally like an atom in this grain of sand. To God. But see, some preachers think God is just... The word God is so overused. They do not have a definition for that word God, but I do. The definition that I put for God is the creator of the beginning. I'm reading some of these things here. Oh, good. Well, I'm very glad that you found God. Reading the comments. But now, want to tell you all that humanity at one point in the woods was naked. Did you know that? They were out in the woods, and I'll show you all a little bit of my property here. But I leave the door open because this is nature. But and this brings good lighting as well. You see the woods here? There was one point humanity was in the woods, and they had nothing. They had absolutely nothing. But what they did have was the natural materials of this universe and omniverse. What they really needed was a mindset that could help them understand how to build, how to make, and how to create. And for humanity, you would not have thought that it would have taken thousands of years to develop, but it has. Never forget the ancestor that suffered for you to have clothes on your back and shoes on your feet. That if you was born thousands of years ago, you would not have what you have now. I want to let you all know that the united ways made it possible for us, whether if God was going to care about humanity or not. It's the fact that we as a united team had to unite. Although we can pray for God to do things directly, God's not going to do things directly. A lot of the times God will use us to do things for him. Right? And that's why we need each other. But I want to sing my special original song, Yesterday's Failure Brings Today's Success, because our ancestors from thousands of years ago that suffered helped us to develop what we have in today's time, the technology, the aircrafts, the planes, the trains, the cargo cars, and the cargo ways, the drones that they have nowadays. All of that would not be here if it was not for the United Ways. So let us give thanks for the discoveries of humanity, the way that humanity had to discover what they have in this world for us to have what we have. Because we could not have done that alone. Just admit it. Just admit we could not have done that by ourselves. And give thanks. Say, I am so thankful for the United Ways. Because we could not have done that without each other. And that is why I call you all my brothers and sisters of the world. Because we could not have done that without each other. And this song is dedicated to the process of humanity's development. Yesterday's failure brings today's success. And yesterday we will say that we learned from this. And yesterday's time that may have been a pain to our mind. And yesterday's time we may think about the future, praying to the heavens that will feel better. And yesterday's time pushed through to create the time of you. Yesterday's failure brings today's success. And yesterday we will say that we learned from this. In the future's time we may look back and think of the struggle it took to get through all of that. Yet it brought our strength in the future of today. Yesterday's failure brings today's success. And yesterday we will say that we learned from this. In this present moment, look back on that yesterday's moment and give a big thanks to that incredible strength that it took to push through to create the now and future you. With perseverance in the ways of life and how all things collide, like the difficult times of development and our evolution. In the collidance of all dimensions, think of the time of all time, time of all directions, and the things that we need to push through to create the time of you. Very good. And just remember that if it was not for those millions of people and thousands of years, we would not be who we are. Let us give a thank you to humanity's development for making it possible for us. And that is my special original song on my Sacred Reality Song Album, Part 2. And this co-aligns to my song, You Only Fail When You Do Not Try. Because our ancestors from thousands of years ago that learned and developed how to engineer, how to construct buildings, and so much more. And the discoveries of plastic and metal, they did not fail us. They may have had a terrible life that did not result the way that they wanted, but they did that so that we could have a chance. And they did not fail us. Because you only fail when you do not try. Calculate a little more precise. Be creative and open your mind. Be detailed in the science of life. Even if you cannot afford, know what you are living for. Try different alternatives and pray to God with your lightingness. Because you only fail when you do not try. Calculate a little more precise. You only fail when you do not try. And they did not fail us. But remember that you do not fail if you try. As long as you try and as long as you do your best, you have not failed in the journey of your quest. I want to tell you all that humanity's development, as well as our personal development individually, we form like a sculpture. And this goes along with my song, Sculpture. And by the way, redoing the music video this coming winter, so prepare for the new music video coming soon. The previous music video, everyone was questioning, what was that happened in the music video at the end? So I was going to kick the sculpture's head off like this mixed martial arts move, but I did not do that because I cannot destroy my own creation. When I create something, I am so proud of that. So when it comes to the new music video, so what I was doing in this sculpture music video is I was sculpting the snow. It was like 8 inches of snow out here. And during the time of forming the sculpture, had made a wedding ring that the sculpture was holding, and then did a mixed martial arts bow to the one that was represented as whoever is going to be my life partner. And I do not know who that is going to be as of yet. But that was what that was in the song music video. But it confused so many people. I think that I'm just going to redo the music video regardless. My song remains the same, and it goes along with the formation, right, of humanity's development as well as your own personal development. And as far as the dogs goes, this is Obedience. That's his name, Obedience. And this here is Ezekiel. So these are the 2 rescues here. This one was recently rescued. I did not even show you all that they was rescued. But he's a good boy. And his name is Obedience. He needs to learn to obey. And Ezekiel's name is Ezekiel. It's Ezequual. I even made a song of his name. Ezequual. That is how to spell your name. You say do not blame. I'm in the world just the way I came. Easy then equal. You want to be treated like people. Ezekiel. But that is Ezekiel, the puppy rescue. And actually, Ezekiel's rescue had 4,000 views. That was the most viewed video on my channel.
Now, someone asked to name him Raven, so the next puppy that I rescued was named Raven. So I do listen to you all's comments whenever you all comment, and I do keep that in mind. When a person said, you should name him Raven. So although I named Ezekiel, I kept that name in mind for the next rescue. But that rescue had gotten adopted, and became a professional therapy dog, and even went to a therapy camp for dogs, so, which is super cool. It was like the best thing that could have happened. Now I need this other dog rescued also. And now I will be singing my special original song, Sculpture, and this is on my Sacred Reality Song Album Part 2. I formed like a sculpture to seek to make life better. Not always did I feel like I would fit in, yet the value is beyond what we can comprehend. All of my life I was forming like a sculpture so precise, in the details beyond just I, like a puzzle piece. What would be the result when the formation is complete? All of my life I was forming like a sculpture, yet I did not know what would result and what that would be for me. Discovering my purpose, learning about what my worth is, and embracing all of my talents. Yet perhaps I have more talents to explore. I formed like a sculpture to seek to make life better. Not always did I feel like I would fit in, yet the value is beyond what we can comprehend. Through the form of the sculpt of so much trauma and damages, yet in ways I learned from this, and the stronger my form was created, a masterpiece in the making. Through it all, I remained as this sculpture forming. I formed like a sculpture to make life better. Not always did I feel like I would fit in, yet the value is beyond what we can comprehend. Yet I did not know what would result and what that would be for me. Yet we keep sculpting and evolving as we form like a sculpture. Had to have hand sanitizer there. But to understand that the formation of your development as you are in your process of life, right? And humanity is in the process of evolution. But we must understand, okay, that in this development, we must appreciate our formation. Even if it is the start of the formation where people are like, oh, what is that? Being rude and disrespectful. And not understanding the sacredness of something that forms over time.
Mm-hmm. I did not always feel like I was going to fit in. In fact, when I was on the missing flyers, right, and went through many near death experiences, I was bullied for not having cat eyes and black eyes, and, you know, I did not feel like I fit in at all. I felt like I was, well, what they put me out like was the dud, the hindrance, you know. They did not want me to be around because I would hinder them because they felt forced to change their eyes around me and, you know, change things that, you know, I was not forcing them. But, and then I had the media abuse and neglect me, even though they paid other channels that doesn't even have the value, I'll tell you. That there's some channels, they call them faceless channels, and they get other people's like interviews and stuff and post it on their channel, even though that may go against copyright laws as far as them posting podcast of other people's podcasts. Like in the example, Jimmy Donaldson, the most watched YouTuber on this planet, he actually gave permission for people to use his videos. But when whenever he posted, whenever they did podcasts, people would post his podcast that he would do with other people onto their video, onto their channel, which it may go against copyright, but since Jimmy Donaldson gave them permission, it's not against copyright since they had permission from Jimmy himself, right? But for other things, for other creators and other people, it would not be legal unless they had their personal permission, right? Or a public permission. Um, as far as um, as far as the other channels, there's channels getting paid millions of dollars. I've actually heard multimillionaires brag about how they never even had to make a video by themselves because they were always getting other people's videos and posting it on their channel, which is, you know, illegal copyright law, but they ended up getting paid regardless. And YouTube is paying hundreds and thousands of channels around the world right now. And I'll tell you that more than half of them are not even creating original content. Mm-hmm. And I feel very downgraded. Not only downgraded, majorly neglected. I did do a video exposing YouTube and exposing Facebook. Facebook did illegal crypto technology on my videos, and there was companies from Russia trying to illegally claim my videos in foreign languages that I did not understand. Now, they actually sent me an email about last month or so, or whenever that was. It was in recent times, and when I got that email, they said they were only going to give me $7 of compensation when they got 725 million from the lawsuit for Facebook selling people's personal information. I knew I was being majorly abused because they used my name in the court, you know, as a victim, so that they could get that 725 million, and then they turn around and give me nothing but $7. It's an absolute dishonor, and there was nothing I could do. I've been very neglected in my life, and one of the comments said it must have been something from past. I told you all I was more than a psychic, and I know a lot of things, and some of the things I know are very disturbing because there are very evil things in this world, and a lot of them are in the shadows, hidden, and and they make all the excuses they can to abuse someone, not only in a physical way, okay, but in a virtual way, right, to where they're preventing things from getting promoted. Part of the reason why that says that there is 0 views right now. But I've heard you all's network conversations during this video, and let's just say that judgment is definitely there. But there's no excuse to abuse and neglect original things. Okay, because there's more than 8 billion people on this planet, and the more that you all procrastinate is the harder it's going to be. Not for you, but for me. Mm-hmm.
I've never had my work that I do pay the bills. Even if I stay awake all day, all night, working majorly hard, which I have over the years before, and I never did get paid. I never did get supported. But here's the thing, like I had so many moments to where I felt like I was not going to fit in to this world and into society. And I realized that I was the formation over time that helped me to create who I am. Right? Not that YouTube did anything to help me, nor did any of the other things that I worked on. But in a way, I formed myself, and they just neglected me, practically. Mm-hmm. While I watched other people have the good life, I continue. The reason why the camera angle is like this is because literally those walls, these are not insulated walls. Mm-hmm. Because I cannot afford installation. So I tried to hide the embarrassment. But it's not embarrassing on my part, right? It's embarrassing that YouTube is not paying me for my work. Mm-hmm. It's them that is the embarrassment, not me, because I've done my work. Mm-hmm. But one day I'm not gonna try anymore. And they're gonna be sorry for everything they missed out on, but they sure did gain a lot from me already. But they could have gained so much more. But not a thing is exact in life, no matter what you try to say. Not a thing is exact, and of course, a creature who is abusive would never understand the sacredness of something. But I'm going to talk about the empowerment of words, because that is one thing that has held me up this entire time, regardless of the difficulties. Every word left unspoken. And this is my special original song that would not exist without me. If anybody cares. Every word left unspoken. And even if you do not care, I do. So do the spiritual ones that have to do with me. Every word left unspoken can heal the wounds of the broken. Love the empowerment of words. We are a blessing and we'd be the ones to tell you first that every word and every action can make a difference, even the smallest of fractions. With every word that is unspoken, can heal those wounds of the broken. So express these words. So many people lost in this worldly place. The empowerment of words can guide them and put a smile upon their face. So many people being on their edge. The empowerment of words can help them be at their best. So many people struggling with emotions. The empowerment of words can guide them with devotions. So many people trying to give the devil their soul. The empowerment of words can put God in control. Every word left unspoken can heal the wounds of the broken. Love the empowerment of words. We are a blessing and we'd be the ones to tell you first that every word and every action can make a difference, even the smallest of fractions. With every word that is unspoken, can heal those wounds of the broken. So express these words. So many people struggling with abuse. The empowerment of words can make those bad things lose. So many people going without the empowerment of words can teach them how. So many people need a motivation. The empowerment of words can fulfill them with a conversation. The empowerment of words you may not be able to see with your sight, yet always remember that your words can save a life. Every word left unspoken can heal the wounds of the broken. Love the empowerment of words. We are a blessing and we'd be the ones to tell you first that every word and every action can make a difference, even the smallest of fractions. With every word that is unspoken, can heal those wounds of the broken. So express these words of empowerment. Peace, those pieces that we are missing this morning and every day of our life. And may you express the empowerment in your mind. Very good, and remember that we have empowerment in everything that we say, think, and do, and there is ripple effects, chain reactions to what we say, think, and do. We have to understand that we make impacts, whether if we know it or not, even if it does not seem like we are making an impact. We do. We have empowerment. Brothers and sisters of the world, united in unity. We are stronger. And when we have individual empowerment, and then when we unite together, whether if it's this online community, okay, you all can have conversations in the comments. You all can literally conversate. These comments do not have to be directly to me. You all can conversate together in the comments. But you see, I've seen more views on stupid things than I'm seeing on my video right now, which is worse than disappointment. Because you're practically putting it out when you all do not put effort into me. When I'm putting effort into you, it makes me feel neglected. It makes me feel like all of what I've went through, all that severe traumatization, everything that I had to overcome to make these original songs that did not exist before me, that people are just putting it out like it doesn't matter. And you all think that you're going through a difficult time on the behalf of this. Every purpose I've tried to give myself has been neglected. When I tried to join the military recruiter denied me over the phone. Then I flew back across the United States, tried to get my GED, was abandoned. 45-minute drive to a town that did not have GED available. Then I was thrown out. Then I was place to place. Then I was hit by a 3,000-pound car. Permanent indention and break in my skull, not eligible for heavy-duty training. Then a lot of things that I wanted to give myself and the purpose was completely ruined because I have a permanent brain injury. Okay, those were the purposes I tried to give myself before I was hit by a car. And then after I was hit by a car, I tried to give myself purpose, and it was not supported enough to ever put food on the table or to pay the bills. Below average income is not going to be stable enough in the future. Because truthfully, I never know when it's just going to cut out. But if it does, I'm dead. Because I've put everything and all that I am towards this channel on YouTube and towards the Facebook. And all I got back was abuse. I even literally have the illegal analytic changes from the Made for Kids channel.
of them legit taking view count off because they felt like there was too many numbers on there. I had 80 likes on a short, multiple shorts, 80 plus likes, right? And they took all the views off, left a few views, but the 80 likes remained on multiple of the videos, of the short videos on my Made for Kids channel, and that literally shows right now. You can literally go on the Made for Kids channel and see the shorts, right? That there was 80 likes and then a few views because they took the view count off of there illegally multiple times. And then not only that, that's only what is seen. What is not seen is the way that they literally, no, I cannot file a lawsuit. Those stupid, dumbfounded, dishonorable idiots. They know I could not file a lawsuit. Because why? Because they know it takes thousands of dollars. I am below average income SSI. I do not have installation. Okay, and the winter time is coming up. Right now, I'm worried if I'm going to have heat this winter. Not that they care. Obviously, they never have. All of these years, all of the work that I've put forth, and it never has paid the bills. It's complete abuse. Every purpose I've tried to give myself. And what you have to realize is that the empowerment of words can help us to have strength even in difficult times, and that is what this song on my channel is all about. And my songs would not exist without me. And I just think, would my existence, would it have been better if I did not exist? You know, then none of the songs would exist. None of the biology puzzles would exist. And I give out these biology puzzles for free on my biology song album. And I think, does the world really think that they would be better if I did not exist? I'm pretty sure they gained a lot more from me than what they're really accounting for. Or even wanting to appreciate, obviously. Did not even give a like on the video. But remember that your words can save a life, and that life is a process. It is a development. And you have to have stability and structure within yourself, even through those difficult things you go through in life. And the same goes for how to tell a girl to be a woman. Have order, have management, have structure, have stability, have foundation. Same goes for how to tell a girl to be a woman, but how to tell a boy to be a man. Same concept, right? So this is my special original song that would not exist without me, and I appreciate any kind of appreciation at some, like right now, or anyway. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. To always have structure in life, and to have proper management in your mind. To prepare for the future ahead, and to always be open-minded. To teach sympathy, and to always be humbling, only towards the good things in life, and cast those bad things out of your time. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. Have strength of adaptation, and have self-control when life is changing. And even if you are in the struggle, always stay faithful. They'll put dollars as a price, yet always remember worthiness has true value in time. As when all else will fail, love will always prevail.
Just think about that for a moment. Mhm. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. To always have structure in life and to have proper management in your mind. I appreciate that comment of appreciation there. It's wonderful to receive appreciation because sometimes my mind has difficulties feeling appreciated. I appreciate that. So motivation is a big thing for me. Mm. You must be strict on yourself, regardless of all things else. And even if you may not be appreciated or acknowledged, be honorable with purpose fulfilling. Because we have purpose in potential. And we must have all we say, think, and do to meet the credentials. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. To always have structure in life and to have proper management in your mind. Have a foundation in your life and have God in the heavens by your side. As there is no room for mistakes when the potential is more than it takes. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. Have strength of adaptation and have self-control when life is changing. How to tell a boy to be a man. When he's weak, tell him how to stand. And praying that you all are staying healthy, looking at the comments here, and hello. The previous episode, I was singing, the previous live broadcast, I was singing my educational song album, and now I am singing my song album of the Sacred Reality song album part 2 that I posted just a while ago. So if you all want to check out my song album, you can find me on YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, and so many more platforms. So go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the channel and tune into my songs whenever you get the chance. But so far, I've went over many of my songs in this live broadcast. If you all missed it, you can go back in the episode after I get done with this. And I was just going through the songs and also responding to some of the comments. And I just want to let you all know that that in your life, I pray that you have management, order, and structure to who you are as a person. You have purpose, you have potential, you have a mission in your daily life. You have goals. Goals are missions. Okay, you make those missions for yourself. You make those goals for yourself. It's not only other things that will make those goals for you. It's you that has to make those missions and goals for yourself. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you all have not gotten the biology puzzles, I think that is something that should be your goal as well, because you can get the entire collection on my educational song album, the biology song album. So it'll be a great goal for you all to have, because guess what? For this Christmas, you could use these as ornaments. That's correct. So you can put these on the tree. You just poke a hole through this and then put that on the tree. And my biology song album has biology lessons from the human anatomy, and I give out these free puzzles that go with that I specially designed. I worked very hard to make these, from the bird anatomy, the squirrel anatomy, the horse anatomy, the cat anatomy, the spider anatomy, and so much more. This is great for kids. This is great for adults. This is great for families. And you all can have family time putting these puzzles together, and it really can teach you a lot of wonderful things, because
Biology changed my life, and I pray that that can change you all's life as well. I have two types of songs that I make. I have the educational songs and I have the reality songs, and I try to level out the two. I'm not appreciated either way as far as my songs goes entirely. But as far as, something that pays the bills, this does not even pay for the food on my table, but I continue to have motivation somehow to do this. But a part of that is the comments here and making differences. Um, but I don't know how long that's gonna last me. I'm shocked that I've lasted this long, but it's been many years. But I want to sing my song, "Decisions of Thousands." Now I made this song "Decisions of Thousands" from a conversation that I had with my academic sister. Oh wait, she was not in the children's academies with me. She was a person I knew when I was little, and I lost contact with her, and then I got back in contact with her. And I consider people my sisters and brothers of God and of the world. And I spoke to her on how she's doing, and she was doing absolutely incredible, and I was very thankful for her. And then I figured out a downfall that she smoked marijuana, and I told her, oh no, that can cause literal brain deterioration. And I shown her the proof CT scans that it can deteriorate your brain. And so she continued to be like, do not tell me how to live my life. I said, I care about you and I want what is best for you. And I ended up making this song to try to get her to do better. So I continue to pray for her. Her name's Taylor. Decisions of thousands, what will you decide? In all of the networks of your life, you are what you say, think, and do to create your mind. In these decisions of all kinds, you sadly say, heavens, this is all that I have. Those bad things keep you in less to try to make you vulnerable to do bad. Did it quench your thirst to do those bad things? A system of excuses, is that not quite strange? Then wait, the heavens is trying to help you see, as you say in your mind, those bad things are not me. You was vulnerable, and those bad things took advantage, and you did those bad things because they knew you could not manage. Wake up your mind, there is an evil system against, and yes, be aware of dark evil spirits. Then make a list of excuses, reading your mind and knowing all of your secrets. Decisions of thousands, what will you decide? In all of the networks of your life, you are what you say, think, and do to create your mind. In these decisions of all kinds, be aware of the evil system and know who you are and cast those bad things out very, very far. I know that times can be hard, but do not be vulnerable. You have to stand your ground and say these words out loud. Do not dishonor our true potential in life. In the name of God, the Creator, the beginning of space time, I cast all evil things away from our mind to seek the potential in our life, to make the heavens proud and God as well. We are created with billions of sacred details, and the goodness of God will always prevail over all things big and small. Decisions of thousands, what will you decide? In all of the networks of your life, you are what you say, think, and do to create your mind. In these decisions of all kinds. One moment. To every detail of my operation, I cast all evil out, regardless of the situation. You will not see me vulnerable. There are no excuses, and may the good of all always be rewarded. Rewarded. Decisions of thousands, what will you decide? In all of the networks of your life, you are what you say, think, and do to create your mind. In these decisions of all kinds, may you have sympathy, order, management, and structure, and always remember that we can always evolve further, be foundational, And always remember that some decisions are irreversible. Decisions of thousands, what will you decide? In all of the networks of your life, you are what you say, think, and do to create your mind. In these decisions of all kinds, in these decisions of thousands, what will you decide? To create your mind and shape the reality of your love, to create this earth like the heavens. And this song I created to try to convert someone from doing bad to do good, because it's the decisions of thousands. What will you decide? And then literally, I told everyone how to treat those bad things, and said and say these words out loud, right? And that was in my song. And say these words out loud. Do not dishonor our true potential in life. In the name of God, the creator, the beginning of space-time, I cast all evil things away from my mind to seek the potential in my life, to make the heavens proud and God as well. We are created with billions of sacred details, and the goodness of God will always prevail over all. And so, with my song, telling people that are, getting into bad influence what to say to those bad things, it helps them to know how to respond. Because a lot of the times people face evil spiritually, they do not know what to say. They do not know how to react. And so my song tells them how to. Do not dishonor our true potential in life. How great is that? Well, I prayed for my friend Taylor to never smoke marijuana again, because it causes brain deterioration, and it can literally deteriorate brain matter. It's very dangerous for your brain, and it should not be legal in this country. Unfortunately, it is. And there's a lot of people getting majorly damaged from the misguidance of people saying that it's a herbal medicine when it's actually something that does the complete opposite. But I continue to pray for her. I did show her the song after I made the song, and I do not know if she stopped, but I continue to pray, and maybe that can help people right now that is getting into bad influence. There are some children that literally are getting affiliated with gangs right now somewhere around the world. There are some children that are getting introduced to substance. There are some children around the world, teenagers, getting introduced to stuff. And they're watching videos that are making them want to do it more, and those videos are videos from people that are promoting that illegal stuff in the ways of them saying that it's cool or something else, which it obviously is something that corrupts this planet. And a part of making this world better is making better what? Influencers. Making better influencers. You got, when I was a child, right, and then I was a preteen going into the teenager age, and this song Nicki Minaj popped up, right, and the song was called Super Bass. Who remembers that? Who remembers Super Bass by Nicki Minaj? Well, as a pre-teenager, I remembered every word, and I knew that they were talking about illegal drug dealing in the song of Nicki Minaj, right? And that's what she was promoting with that song. But guess what? She got millions of dollars from the song. Yeah, but she also ruined a lot of children's life, because she was promoting to do illegal stuff and making it seem cool. She's not the only one that did that. There was a lot of male figures that promote even worse stuff. And they promote it worse than Nicki Minaj did. And what people have to realize is that there's a lot of people getting paid on YouTube that promotes to do illegal things. And when you all do not help a good influencer get up there, that's one less person to try to get people to do good. Because there's a lot of bad influencers. But I want to tell you all that in my development of a lot of the severities that I went through, I had inspirations and motivations in my life, and sometimes I had to become the inspiration that I wanted because I couldn't find it. But what we have to realize is that there is there's things going on in this planet right now that we can prevent. And a part of that is why I'm doing this episode right now. I do not know what you all are going through in your life, but as I said before, your life is in the process, right? And you can form that beautiful pearl of who you will become. But you're in the depths of the sea, and that beautiful pearl will be formed. But I want to tell you all that some people need an inspiration, right? They do not feel like they can create their own inspiration. They need someone to help them get an idea of what they will become. And that's what I could be for a lot of people, and especially the growing generations. Mm-hmm. I just pray they have less struggles than I have had. But this is my special original song, Inspiration and Motivation. To become masters, we must accredit and accommodate motivational and inspirational things. I am thankful for the ones who have motivated me in life, regardless of the struggle and strife. I am thankful for the ones that have had consistency in so many ways that has inspired me. And I pray that I can inspire you. All of those good people in my life, I say thank you. Because even in the struggle, that helped me push through. So thank you to all the ones that motivated. And in so many ways is my inspiration. So thank you for supporting me. Inspiration is what creates you to be who you are. And our potential can go very far. Thank you for the ones who believe in me. That is something that I see motivationally. Even through these times of struggling, you have no idea how that helps me to stay strong. I am not going to give up because that helps me to carry on. In life, we have to have more reason, yet know that our souls must too have their seasons. There was times I had difficulties getting out of bed, with my brain injury and pain in my head. Yet when I thought of my motivation, that is what gave me more reason. So thank you for the people who is good in my life. That motivation helped me get through struggle and strife, and inspire me in so many needed times. You all are special and one of a kind. All of these times are very special to all of you good, wonderful people. And may your reward be more than double, especially when I become successful. I had to fight my way to the top, and the struggle just did not seem to stop. But I would say that we have our whole life ahead of us while we're staying strong
Yet I cannot determine the days that we have ahead. So let me take this moment to say thank you for being my inspiration. Give a like, share, and subscribe because my song was made in the moment. You motivators, you help me push through. And that is why I say thank you. You motivators, you help me get through the struggling times and help me to evolve better in my mind. And this is my special original song, Inspiration and Motivation. Yes, that song was made in the moment, in like literally during the time I was hauling water jugs living off the grid. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was times where I questioned whether if I should even be in the world. And this song is what helped me get through that time. And I thought of my motivation. My friend Amy, I've known her 13 years. She is the one of the longest lasting friends I've ever had. Mm-hmm. That is not by blood, but yet by family love. And by the way, Amy, if you're watching this, you are such a miracle blessing. Sister love. But I've known Amy 13 years now, and she is a part of my motivation. She was there for me in very, very difficult times when nobody else was. And my Aunt Dinah, if you're watching this, thankful for you. And she helped to practically counsel me in certain times. She's been a military counselor for over 20 years plus. She's continuing to. And my Uncle David was a chaplain, and once and always will be, but 20 plus years, deployed multiple times, and she helped my Uncle David get through what he was going through, and they helped each other, but she helped me through difficult times as well. She taught me mindful exercises that I really needed in certain times, like legit. There was a time my brain injury was hurting really bad, and I told her about it. I told her, I said, I'm not sure what's going on with my brain, but I feel a lot of pressure. I feel dizzy, and it's painful. And she says, I want you to try this mindful exercise, and I did. And it's state 5 things you see, 5 things you hear, 5 things you sense, and I did, and I did not have pain in my brain after that. And and sometimes I think that when you practice mindfulness, it can actually help reduce pressure in your brain, and that was proven from my aunt Dinah teaching me that mindful exercise. But that was a time where I really needed someone the most, and there was many times that sisterly love was proven, brotherly love, brothers and sisters of the world. We need each other. I mean, I am not a selfish person. I'm very sympathetic. I think that a person that is not sympathetic will never learn the ways of life the way that they need to. Mm-hmm. Sympathy is something that people from thousands of years ago had for you, right? When they gave their life so that you can have a life, right? And we're talking the development of humanity. We're talking the discoveries of humanity. We're talking learning engineering, learning construction, right? Humanity had to learn those things, right? And it was a development. Thousands of years it took for humanity to develop what we know in today's time, especially engineering. Engineering was one of the most difficult things for humanity to learn. A lot of the times, and humanity restarted multiple times too, and had to regain the data, and that was severe for the species of humanity, mm-hmm. Because then people had to suffer again, and the species of humanity, the people from thousands of years ago, made sure that we could have a good life in today's time. And I think that is a part of the motivation as well. When I look at the things that I have, sometimes I think of humanity's development. But I think, like, when it comes to
when it comes to giving the world something that did not exist before, usually that's supposed to be appreciated, right? I mean, my songs did not exist before me, and yet I just do not understand why I'm not appreciated. I mean, there is definitely spiritual things in the shadows that are hiding their corruptive behaviors and making all the excuses they can. They're taking advantage of good, vulnerable things. And that's an absolute dishonor that needs to be stopped. Okay, but I appreciate the good things that help because that's a part of the motivation to get through um, what we're going through in life. But I will say that my song, Inspiration and Motivation, that was made in a very difficult time in my life. And I just pray that that can help open people's mind to the inspirations and motivations that we need in the formation of our development. I pray for you all. I pray for your strength, your determination, your devotion. I pray for your healing. I pray for the cleansing and the renewal of your mind, your spirit, your body. I pray that any evil that is formed against you will be casted out in the name of the creator of the space-time fabric and the beginning of existence, before this dimension even existed. Okay, in the name of the potential of creation, that all evil will be casted out. Cleanse it, fix it, correct it, remove it. 4 ways of casting things out. But you all, you're in the process of your life. I just pray that my songs can help you in the process of your life. And I'll be working hard to making more songs and content. But see, I do not make songs that are not from my heart. These songs come from what I truly feel within. And that is the difference. When you hear about those pop songs on the radio, they're repeating the same things that just sound partying and stupid and repetitive. And my songs is within. The struggling, severe things that I went through, how I overcame that, and seeking to convert bad things to do good, and just to understand you are in the formation of your development, right? But shall you not hurt anything in your formation? But you want to make sure that in your formation that you form correctly. And sometimes you say, well, what is correct in the formation of life? Well, that is one thing that a lot of people struggle with, but one big thing is never desire sin. And then you will form better, even if you do not understand a lot of things entirely. What is sin, you ask? Sin is something harmful in any way, shape, or form. Okay, lust is harmful. I do not lust. And in fact, I was a born again virgin after I was a teenager. And there was something that happened one time in all of my adulthood with a person named Austin Miller. Um, but that only happened one time, and I promised to God I would wait until after marriage furthermore. Now, keep in mind, 6+ years, all of my adulthood, I waited, and I'll be waiting for marriage furthermore. But I do not seek lust. That's not something I seek. And when it comes to, and he is a police officer, he is in the Marines, and he's actually continuing to be in the Marines. Um, but he was very careless to me, but he's in the development of his process as well. Long story on that. But that was only one time in all of my adulthood. But, continuing further, I told God I would never let it happen again. And I will wait until marriage. But I do not seek or desire lust. I do not seek or desire hatred. I do not seek or desire corruption. And in the formation of your life, when you are forming yourself, you say, well, how do I form myself correctly if I do not know what correct is? If you are learning about what correct is, just make sure to never have the desire of sin in your heart. and then you will form better. Mhm. Do not seek or desire hatred, discrimination against sisters or brothers. If a person is good, then leave it at that. Let them help you to be formed. In fact, a lot of times when people have the sin of jealousy or the sin of hatred, and they're missing out on what they can learn from that person, right? Because when you're in your formation, when you're forming and developing, the one thing you have to learn is you can learn from others about how to form better, right? Or how to improve yourself, how to be more strict on yourself, right? And so, even though I did not know what correct was in the path of my life, in the formation of who I am, because in my song, Form Like a Sculpture, I formed like a sculpture to seek to make life better. Not always did I feel like I would fit in. Yet the value is beyond what we would comprehend. And that is the formation of who you are and who you will become. But in my formation of the sculpture of who I am, um, I was formed not understanding what correct was entirely, but I did know that I shall not have sin in my heart. And that goes for all sins: the sin of hatred, the sin of corruption, the sin of lust, the sin of discrimination, the sin of there's all kinds of sins. But it's anything harmful in any way, shape, or form, right? Do not corrupt. Do not harm a person's success. Do not deceive a person, right? Do not. It's just anything harmful, because it can harm a person if you do something harmful, and that goes for mental, spiritual, physical, emotional things, right? And as long as you keep that in mind, say, okay, sin is something harmful in any way, shape, or form. That goes for mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. That's the literal definition. So then you say, okay, I'm going to apply that to every decision I make. I'm never going to decide into anything harmful in any way, shape, or form. Okay, and then when you do that, and that goes for words, for thoughts, for actions, both physical and spiritual, seen and unseen, right? When you do that, your formation will form in a better way, even if you do not understand what correct is entirely, right? That will go into your formation. But in the formation of what created me to be who I am, I may not have known what correct was entirely, but I knew I would never have sin in my heart. I knew I would never desire sin. But when it comes to the 6+ years I had in loyalty for God, like literally nobody touched me for 6+ years. I struggled terribly in the process. I denied many things. I pushed everything away for 6+ years and established what I have now. And then I did meet a person, Alston Miller. He is a police officer here, and in the United States Marines, and he resonated with my life, and I wanted him as a life partner. And I did not do what I did with him out of sin. I did it because I wanted him as a life partner, but he did not have the same intentions with me. Mm-hmm. So I apologized to God, and I repented for my sin. I said, God, forgive me. You know, but I had a conversation with God before, and I said, God, I stayed loyal and committed to you for all of those years, and yet you let them abuse me because I was grouped up on several times when I was committed to God. And during my commitment, one at the ER, one at the store, which is in Tennessee, in another state. And when I was in Tennessee, they grouped up on me. There was a bunch of people that just started, and they said, you are getting kicked out of the store. And they had no reason to do it, right? And when they did it, like they literally had no proof of the complaints that they said they had. They did not even know what the complaints was. And I was like, this is unequalization. This is the first time they ever addressed it. But they literally forced me to leave the store, and they told me I could never come back. That was one thing that happened. There was 3 big incidents that happened when I was grouped up on. And I was very targeted and unequalized in those situations. But keep in mind, I was 100% committed to God. Nobody touched me. I was all for God, and then yet I was done wrong in those ways. And I was scared the last time I got abused and grouped up on. And I said, God, I said, I'm going to have to find someone who can protect me since you did not protect me. And that is when I had a very big talk with God. Um, when I met Alston, I asked God exactly what I wanted out of a man. And I had written down what I wanted. And I said, I want the worthiest, the most trustworthy. I stated all of the things I wanted. I said the type of lifestyle I wanted to live. And of course, um, my Aunt Dinah was a military spouse, and she is very inspiring to me. But I wanted to join the military when I was 18, and I was denied and rejected. But I continued to love the lifestyle. I love um, I love the discipline and the strictness, and that's what I wanted in my life. Right? I wanted that direction, and that's not something I got because I was different. Right? And so, of course, I would want good loving husband of 60 plus years that you know has resignation, and someone who can empathize with me, someone who can do things together with me, someone who has that strictness, that training, that discipline. We can learn from each other. And so I was asking God for all of these things, and then I met Olson. He like met all of the things I was asking, and I thought that God sent him to me, right? Or like transactioned him to me, like moved him over here to be closer to me. And I legit have a list of things that I wanted, and he met all of that. And turns out that he did not want me, and it was very painful. But I told God that I would wait furthermore, mm-hmm, for marriage. Um, the long story on that, but I did not have sin in my heart, is what I'm saying. And so, even though in my formation, okay, and in your formation, never have sin in your heart, right? And have a bond with God, right? And you would think through the abuse that I went through, right? And through the things that I went through that I would not be close to God, but I am, right? And the heavens of the layers of life, and there's billions and billions of things in the layers of the dimensions, which is heavens. Heavens is defined as layers of dimensions and creatures that live within those dimensions, right? And to which are good. And so I bond with the billions of things of the layers of the dimensions, and I know that I do not seek or desire sin in my heart. And so with that helped my formation to form in a better way over time. And I pray that that can help you to form better in your life, to never have the desire of sin in your heart, your mind, or your spirit. As sin is something harmful. Here's the definition. Sin is something harmful in any way, shape, or form that goes for mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, words, thoughts, actions, seen and unseen. That is the literal ultimate definition for the word sin. Right? So keep that definition in your mind and apply that to every decision. Say, I will never sin. I will never seek sin. Right? Mm-hmm. Even if it is tempted upon me, I will not do so. But keep in mind all of the years that I waited in loyalty and honorability for God. That situation happened one time with Alston, and I promised to never have that happen again. But until after marriage, of course. You gotta wait until marriage. So I want to sing my special original song. There was a time for everything, and then I'm going to be ending this broadcast. Just remember, in the formation and the development of your life, that your process will have the time for everything. But keep in mind, whatever time that you are in now, that you are in the process. And that result, keep that in your mind. And we will accomplish over this course. It's not only time that it takes, it's surrounding yourself by good people. It's building that community, right? It is casting that evil away that may be against, right? And it is bringing that success forward in your life. Mm-hmm. Because there are many that had taken no time at all, really. Mm-hmm. Because there was no excuses against them. As there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There are times of confusion to where you need guidance, and if not receiving, that may bring sadness to where you feel closed out. And one day you will be ready to open up God's hill of the mount. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. And I appreciate the likes on there. Emotions exist for a reason. And there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There are times of anger, of that built up emotion, to where the opportunity doors just feels like they are closing. Let self-control be your light. Get to the source and let your light shine. Because there's a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time of loss and a time of grief. Yet see your potential and respect your body. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. There is a time of what you may feel as fear, yet there is a time to train to be heaven's soldier. Learn the lessons to improve your emotions. Do not let those bad things hinder your development. Break out of that fear and show that you are strengthened. Because there is a time for everything. We must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. And this is my special original song, There Was a Time for Everything, on my special original Sacred Reality song album.
There's a time of gratitude and what inspired you to create you, to express how you are thankful for life's development that makes opportunities possible, and how development is just unstoppable. Through those difficult times, push through with a time of gratitude. Because there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There's a time of trust on life's roadways, and sometimes we trust without even knowing. On the roadway of life, the heavens gives us different kinds of signs. By God's law, we expect people to arrive as we trust when we drive. That is a part of trust in the roadway of life. Because there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time of prayer with sympathy to our Lord and Savior in eternity. We sympathize and prayers for ourselves and others in life. We pray for the solution that we can become until balance to all is done. Because there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There is a time of ambition to seek and envision, to have a lifelong mission, like balancing all of existence. Because there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There's a time of happiness in the many layers. Appreciation, acknowledgement, accreditation, and love to God's favor. Always seek happiness to life's many layers. Because there is a time for everything, we must accept that there is a time of change to improve life's many ways. Emotions exist for a reason, and there are times that our souls will have our seasons. There's a time for all emotions, because there is a time for everything. We must be willing to change. We must understand that there is a time for everything in life. Like this episode, if you think God is good. Seeing if there's a like on there. Well, I'll tell you all that your life is in the process. You're not in the result. So just understand you have more things to learn, even though it does not seem like it at times. If I ask you, do you know all the species of plants on this planet? If I ask you, do you know all the languages on this planet? If I ask you, do you know anything about the quantum realm or perhaps the space-time fabric? Then I'm sure you have more to learn. Or perhaps all of the instruments. You are in the development of your process where you will be for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. The result is the potential, and we should always seek the potential. The potential is a never-ending goal because the potential is further than what we can ever go in life. So thus shall we seek the potential of not only ourselves but others also. Remember that when you all are subscribed to my channel, that my videos can be here for you whenever you need for the rest of your life. I have a lot of wisdom that I've taught if you ever feel interested in learning. Never underestimate what you can learn from. Sometimes you can learn from the smallest of things. I also have a bedtime story that I sing a lot. But I have to get the puppies in bed. Because it's the puppies. No, it's not the puppies' bedtime. It's only 1,800 hours in a day. Their bedtime is about 2,000. But perhaps that will be a song for another time. But I pray that my songs will be appreciated, and I will come out with a new song album at some point, but I'm not seeing any progression out of the song albums that I've already posted. What you have to realize is that other people are greatly appreciated for things that they do, and as much trauma that I've went through in life, I would have thought I would have been appreciated for creating things that did not exist. I know that if I would have done this about 10, 20 years ago, then oh my goodness, it certainly would have been appreciated. But I cannot change what happened in the past. I was severely suffering then, so that's not something I could really change, you know. But I know I'm here now, and you know, I just pray people will be grateful and thankful, and not ungrateful, or you know, there's just see the spiritual realm. See, when the population started to go up, the spiritual realm started to have difficulties, so they just opened up positions for people to go in. And when they did this, there was some people in positions that were not very well, right? And then it created a bit of chaos. But it was a bit rushed. You can obviously tell, because if things were not rushed, you would, like in the example, the spiritual realm rushed to put people in positions, and then they turned out to be corruptive. That's why the algorithm is controlled. I actually had proven illegal analytics of that person, Tyler, on YouTube.
She only made 15 videos at the time, and she made a song about illegal stuff. And she promoted in the song to do illegal stuff. And she instantly got 300 million views on her 15th video she posted on YouTube, and she created her channel in 2021. She has about over 1 to 2 billion people that saw her channel. I thought, well, something's wrong here, because one of the first videos says it was posted 12 years ago, but her channel says it was created in 2021. So you cannot have a video that was posted 12 years ago if your channel was only created a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing that I seen in illegal analytics. But what that means is that there was creatures in authority of the spiritual realm that more than likely hacked the algorithm. Mm-hmm. Or it was the YouTube platform themselves, the ones who work for YouTube, that did it, which they could have. But the spiritual realm is also over this algorithm. So both the YouTube platform, of course, software engineers, they can easily put manual input on software engineering to be able to boost videos and promotion, and people would think it was natural, right? But they've illegally taken view count off of my videos on my Made for Kids channel. My main channel, they just prevented it from being promoted. But on the Made for Kids channel, they actually illegally took the view count off because there was 80 likes on the video, and so they actually took the views off of there, which is illegal. But they know I could not afford a lawyer to be able to file the lawsuit. So that's, they took advantage knowing that I would not be able to afford a lawsuit. But as far as understanding this algorithm, I know it's spiritually controlled. But I also know that, like, they make it easier to promote some people's videos than others. Like, any example, say in the spiritual realm, you all are like, oh, promote this, promote this. So they would make it hard for you all to do that, right? But for those other channels, they would not, right? You would be like, oh, promote this, promote this. They boost it to like 50,000 at the least. Mm-hmm. And then I can hear the networks at times. And then I clearly remember there was some brothers and sisters of the spiritual realm who were taken up for me, right? And I was listening to them in the networks, and they were telling the ones of authority in the spiritual realm over the algorithm and saying, promote this. This was this strategy, and it was when I rescued the dog, and I made another updated video of the dog rescue, which the first one had 4,000 views, and then the next video that was posted, they were begging the one of authority, please boost this. This should have about 4,000 views like the other one did because it's so similar, and it was utilizing a similar strategy. So then the one in the authority of the algorithm said no. It was like, and of course in the shadow, ashamed of himself. But there's some things in control of this algorithm, right, that I am completely aware of. And it's very dishonorable and very sickened. So I knew whenever they had boosted Tyla's video to 300 million views, right, that it was targeting children, because they actually hosted her for the Nickelodeon's Kids Show Award for specifically making a song about illegal stuff, which is an absolute dishonor. But it's the fact, you all, that they controlled the algorithm to boost that song that she made. It was the 15th video she made. She only had her channel for 2 years. She only had 15 videos on her entire channel, right? And she was instantly boosted 300 million plus times. And that's not the only hint. It's the fact of what they were targeting. They were targeting the children, right? Because why would they have hosted her for the Nickelodeon's Kids Show Award just after that? Right, of making a song about illegal stuff. And it's pretty severe too. But her name's Tyla, right? But it's the fact of what they were targeting, and you can see how the algorithm was controlled. They made no procrastination for that. They gave no excuses for that success of that illegal song, right? It's played in the Walmart store. I did a video just the other day when I was in Walmart, and they was playing that song in Walmart while the children were in that store, and it's promoting to do illegal things, which is an absolute dishonor. And it's the fact that my educational songs should be playing in those stores, right? But they do not want education to be on there because they control it, right? They control what goes on the radios. They control what goes viral. Mm-hmm. I've listened to the networks. I'm more than psychic. I know about these things. But it's the fact that I have tried every strategy that I possibly can. Okay, and the fact of the matter is there's not much more that I can do. And there's gonna be a point to where I'm just gonna give up on this YouTube thing, and I'm gonna, get married, have a husband, have kids, and this is not gonna be my priority anymore. Okay? And then you all are gonna miss out on what else I could have done for you all. Mm-hmm. But as far as going viral, I've expected to go viral, right, when I started making professional editing and doing these films, making something this platform was never having ever, which is I give free products that go with my songs, right, that are educational. That's not something this platform has ever had, right? And that's why it's the most unique thing on this platform right now. But it's the fact that they're neglecting it, okay? And I know, okay, about this manual input on software engineering. But I would not be mad at them if they would promote this. To at least 1 million. Right? Compared to what they gave Tyla, they've given me nothing. Well, listen, you all. I gotta get the dogs inside and attend. I'm praying for everyone's safe travels, wise investments, strength, determination, devotion. But remember, in this process of your life, there is a time for everything. And make sure that in the time of everything, in the formation of who you are, that you form in the wisest of ways. And remember also that you can get your free products with anatomy puzzles on my educational song album. Just search YouTube, Professor Cygnus, spelled Cygnus, biology songs and anatomy songs, and you can get your free products. I have the entire album that has all of the puzzles that you can get, and that's good for family time. Like, I would love to like sit down with the kids and my, I'm not married, but if I had, my husband that I'll spend 60 plus years with, and my kids, and we all gather to the table, and we have, you can put YouTube onto the television. We have the television mounted on the wall, and just, sit at the table and put the puzzles together with the songs and learn biology together. I think that would be so fun. It's definitely a family thing as well. It's not only like an individual learning thing, but it's also a family thing to do as well. But I pray that you all will promote the episodes and listen to my songs. It definitely could help you. But stay healthy, invest wisely, and good night, you all. And good morning, good evening, whatever time that you have. I pray that if you all would like, you can download my my song album on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and those platforms. Now, YouTube does not pay me, so I do not want people to download my stuff from YouTube because that's like my work that they do not pay me for. But as far as iHeartRadio and Spotify, that goes to the music company that I posted my songs from, and they will make sure that I'm paid from the downloads that I get from there. Mm-hmm. But I pray for you all. Stay healthy and do your very best in life. Remember my Sacred Reality song album.
That is, you can just search Kaylin P, known as the YouTube star Professor Cygnus, and then put Sacred Reality Song Album Part 2, and you can find my song album on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, and so many more platforms. But I'm praying for you all. Stay healthy and invest wisely. Bye for now.